For me, the best side events at a main conference are ones where you can understand the team, you can understand the product, you can get a sense of the vibe, you can make connections and have fun. And I did all of those at the event by Datadog. Now, coming in from London to this conference, I was very focused on the actual events and producing content. So there was not really much space for anything else. I was very particular about which events I went to on the side. When I saw this one, I thought to myself, this sounds great. I've previously worked in startups that have a data component. It would be good to make connections. So I signed up for it not knowing really what to expect, but I'm so glad I did. Rebecca in the marketing team runs a tight ship, and that event was fantastic. So first of all, we got to meet the entire team.
They're going to say their name, they're going to say where they're based, they're going to say the team.
So we knew who was in what team and being able to have conversations with them about their work. They also had breakout sessions. I spoke with Shreya, she did a little presentation, and all of us basically had a good sense of the Cloud SIM product. People asked questions about it, which I thought was a great option to have that, where if people want to socialize, they can do that. But actually, if you want to understand the product and what it's doing, you had your breakout moment to be able to do that. There were so many fun conversations. We had a combination of breakout groups. The recruiting team was there, so people were asking lots of questions about the opportunities, the process. Obviously, the job market that we're in, that is something that is so important for people coming to events like this. But also just being able to chat with like-minded people who are your peers, but you would never ordinarily come across. It was the only side event that I went to, and I'm so glad I did, and I think they did a great job. One other thing as well with events like this, you kind of want to get a vibe of the company. And I had the most hilarious chat with Ida, who I think will now be a friend. Ida, if you're watching this, we're friends now. And not just that, but even the people who are at the event and the conversations that we had was fab. Jumping in from the future to add that I met one of my TikTok followers at the Datadog event. Can you imagine that? Me making videos on the streets of London. You're in Texas and someone comes to you and says, "Hi, I follow your content. I love what you're doing." It was so nice to meet Oliver and chat. Absolutely one of the highlights of my trip at AfroTech. So I wanted to add this in there because it definitely made the event for me as well. Merch is a big thing. I like it when you get merch, which is stuff that you will actually use. And so when I got given a fan and a scarf, I'm like, yep, I am going to be using both of those things. And that's one of the few bits of merch that made it back into my bag to London. So I thought I'd hop in and share because I know I've talked a lot about the main events, but there's a ton of side events at AfroTech. You have to be a little bit intentional and early to book. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, and I shall see you in the next video.